Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, in the name of God, the Merciful, the Most Merciful. Praise be to God, the Lord of the worlds, and blessings and peace be upon our Master, our Prophet Muhammad, and his pure family. Peace, mercy, and the blessings of God be upon you, all my dears. This is the second lesson in the interpretation and explanation of Surat AlKauther. And I prefer at the beginning of this lesson to read the surah in Arabic. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. In this lesson we have three main points. Let's start with the first. Just to remember, I'd like to remind you the important points from our previous lesson. The names of this surah, the three main names of this surah, as I told you. First, Surat Inna A'tainaka al-Kawthar. The Prophet Muhammad and our Imams used to call the chapter with the first verse. Surat Al-Tawheed, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Also this surah, this chapter, one of the names of this chapter is Surat Inna A'tainaka al-Kawthar. The second name is Surat Al-Kawthar. And the third one, Surat An-Nahr. And also, in the previous lesson, we explained in that lesson that there are many meanings for Al-Kawthar. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. Such as much godness, God offspring, the offspring of Fatima al-Zahra, prophethood, Islam as a religion, the remembrance of Muhammad is good among his people, Muslims. People's love for the Prophet Muhammad, a river in paradise that has its features, and intercession in the hereafter. And all these meanings are correct, as I told you, because Al-Kawthar, much good, and all of these things are really good and are a title of much good. The second point, we'll go to the second verse. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Now God, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is asking his prophet to act two great things: praying and slaughtering a camel. This divine requirement is to show that the gift, Al-Kawthar, was great. So God is asking his prophet to do great work equal to Al-Kawthar. A prayer and slaughtering a camel, these two great things, big things, this divine requirement shows the greatness of the prayer, the great size of the prayer. And then the second thing, his command to slaughter the most precious, I mean the most expensive thing in that time, which is the camel. It is the most expensive in that time. And here there is a lesson for us. In the second verse, we have to stop and look carefully. Here is a very important lesson for us. We read Quran, we study Quran to understand what is what is the advice. If you want to give people in case of help, if you want to give, please give the good thing that you have. Give an expensive thing. It's not good. It's not good from us as Muslims to give the thing that we don't need, second-hand clothes or something like that. If we want to give in the case of helping others, also it's not good to give a small amount of money, and we can give more. If you can give more, please give, and you will be rewarded from God. You have to believe in this point. You will be rewarded now or later. How? When? It is a thing that God decides. The third point, the third verse. إن شانئك هو الأبتر. God is asking his prophet, your enemy is an amputee. Means no good, no benefit in him at all. And if we look at this verse, إن شانئك إن. In Arabic, this is a method of affirmation. There is no good nor benefit in that one at all. And the one who hates, who stand against the prophet or the religion or against one of the prophets of God or against one of the imams, in that time, in this present time, in that time, such as Abu Lahab the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, or Al-As ibn Wa'il, and also Al-Walid bin Al-Mughira, or those who came after them with the same behavior and hostility. They are enemies of the Prophet Muhammad and of the religion. The third ayah, the third verse, إن شانئك هو الأبتر. This verse gives a power, strengthens the messenger and supports him and says to him, there is no good in your enemy. We have given you Al-Kawthar. And the verse also confirms a principle in order to remain a standard for believers, for us as Muslims, in our judgment of others. If somebody hates the Prophet, hates one of the prophets, hates one of our imams or the religion itself, we have a judgment. We can say to that one that there is no good in him because he is an enemy for the Prophet and for the religion. Up to here, we can see that we could explain the most things that are important in this chapter, Surat AlKauther. I am thanking God subhanahu wa ta'ala for his help, and thanking you for your good listening. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.